What is up, you guys? It's Joelle and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from today's title, I'm talking about a topic that I have wanted to talk about for a very long time. Sorority and fraternity recruitment just happened at my school, Dartmouth. And now that I am a year into it and kind of separated from the community as I'm on my gap year, I just thought it'd be good to take time to just reflect on what this journey has looked like so far. And I hope that this can be something helpful for anyone who is looking into rushing a sorority or fraternity. Obviously, I'm talking about sororities since I am a female, but just Greek life in general, and especially at Dartmouth. Also, again, set up with a new ring light, so let me know what you guys think of it and if this is funky or what you like. I don't know. But anyways, so I have my little notes on just what I'm going to talk about, but this could go on for a while, so we will see what happens. And before I forget, if any of you guys are not yet subscribed and would like to join the J team where there are no bench warmers, then please hit that subscribe button down below and follow me on Instagram and Twitter so you can get updates on when I upload and when I live stream. So the way that I'm gonna outline this video is by me first talking about my experience in Greek life just at Dartmouth and what that's been like. And then from there, I'm gonna go into my 7 tips that I've synthesized based off of my experiences, just words to live by, truths to remember that are not always apparent upon first rushing. So I hope this is helpful for people who just are kind of interested or intrigued by like the big culture surrounding Greek life at Dartmouth, since I think its reputation really precedes it. The fact that the movie Animal House was based off of our college, and that fraternities and the geography of Monsters University was based off partially my school's Greek life as well, and the campus, just wild stuff. Like, we really got a reputation going on here. So I'm gonna talk to you about what it is actually like to be in a sorority at Dartmouth. For those of you guys who've been following me for a long time, you know that I made a video right when I first rushed. I talked about what the rush process was like, which has apparently changed since I've been gone. I don't know, they're doing things all the time. Similar, but still more of like but now more of like a shakeout kind of situation rather than girls rushing. But I think essentially the process of girls picking girls is still the same. But if you'd like to check out that video on my first impression upon rushing, I'll have that in the little cards and links down below. I think it might be helpful to compare and contrast. So I think it's important to note that Greek life, I don't think it's exactly what people expect. For a backstory, in case you haven't seen my video on when I first rushed, I rushed a sorority that was very much out of my comfort zone. I really wanted to meet a bunch of girls that I'd never met before, and I wanted to just get exposed to different parts of campus. And I think I was really successful in doing that. I met tons of people I had never met before, and I was so excited. The sorority I joined is definitely more known for like their party culture and whatnot, which I didn't go out freshman year, let's be real. I didn't know the people who did go out. I hadn't been exposed to that culture really. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Yeah, when I rushed, I really realized quickly though that that made an impact on my ability to socialize in that sorority, as I was like, there's a lot of people I don't know here and they all know each other. Better yet, they're all friends with each other. And that really freaked me out. Cause I was like, dang, like they really have no interest in getting to know me because they all have friends already. Like, what the heck am I doing here? So I think that really dawned on me. I really have to make an effort to connect with people and to reach out. And it really pushed me to just find a place there and just find friends. Honestly, it was hard and it was scary, and I felt overlooked almost in a way, where there are certain upperclassmen that I was close to, but in my class, like, there's no reason for anyone to know me. There's no reason for anyone to reach out to me. My social circles outside of my sorority were very different from other people's. I was not an athlete. I was not white. I didn't really go out. A lot of my friends outside of my sorority were Asian from my dance group. I had a lot of Christian friends, and a lot of my Christian friends didn't rush when I rushed. So that was a little like isolating and sucky feeling. But a lot of the reason, again, why I wanted to go into the sorority is because I felt like I could bring something that other people didn't have. I knew I was different, and I was like somewhat prepared to deal with that, but I knew that it was going to be a little bit of a challenge. So I think I sort of just like put on my big girl booties and was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to make some friends here. And another thing that I noticed upon first rushing was that people's opinions were very polarized on my rush decision. So like I said, I entered kind of like a party-ish sorority, very known for being very white, very wealthy, and yeah, a lot of people didn't like that just by the nature of the friends I was with earlier. And I think I expected people who knew me before I rushed to not really change their opinions of me, because I was like, you knew me already, like I didn't change. All I did was like join this new group to try to make some friends, and some friends were really not okay with that, and it took a lot of mending relationship after actually to get back those friendships to what they were before, because they saw me in a different light, being like, I can't believe you dissociate yourself with those people, Joelle, or like, how can you stand for issues of race and join such a white sorority? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's not what my intention is at all. Like, I really just wanted to meet people and, again, be able to be a light in that environment and make those girls in that sorority know that they're loved and that I love them and that I really care for them. But that definitely took some criticism. On the flip side, however, in the world that I was not previously in, that was like ragey, went out, econ majors, whatever, they're all like, oh, so you're in Kappa, like, let me talk to you now. A boy that I had kissed previously by accident came up to me the night that I got into my sororities. It was so embarrassing. He was like, I remember we kissed that one time, we should do that again. And I was like, oh my gosh, you haven't talked to me in like forever, and that was a total mistake, and I ran away from you after I didn't want to talk to you again after that. Now you're talking to me since I rushed the sorority. And I was just like, dang, this is super weird that people see my affiliation and immediately are like, oh, that's someone I want to be friends with, or that's someone I don't want to be friends with. And that's strange. So anyways, moving on to like the middle of sophomore year, when I was sort of in the groove of being in a sorority, I was like, okay, like the fanfare has kind of died down or whatever. I will not lie that I sort of continued to struggle socially. I think like I had a few friends, but I never felt like I had close friends where I could sit with at meetings or that I could go to events with and stuff like that, just because my closest friends were just, none of them rushed my sorority. You guys might know that I studied abroad in Barcelona. If you've seen my study abroad vlogs, which I can also insert a card for and link down below, because that was an amazing time of life with Dartmouth's study abroad program. And I made some fantastic friends that all happened to be in my sorority as well. Not all of them were in my sorority, but a good number of them were, and I felt so lucky to know that I could go back to school and have someone to go to meetings with and go to events with and feel like they knew me outside of like the Kappa context, and that we had somewhat of a deeper relationship. So that made going into sophomore spring a lot more enjoyable. By then I was sort of like in the groove and I was like, okay. But still, I think I noticed that like the culture that was created by the older girls and the younger girls, just people were not necessarily treating each other well. Like people, not my friends were great, but like I did see girls gossiping about each other in the sorority, or just not being nice or being exclusive or whatever. And I was like, guys, we're literally all in the same house. Like, we're supposed to be sisters. Like, can we at least just pretend, or can we at least just not be mean, because there's no need to be mean? And I guess by the end of sophomore spring, I was kind of jaded. I was like, well, that sucks. Like, I feel like I've made some solid friends, and like I was excited to go into the year, but something about like the culture of the way that older girls treat each other, the younger girls would see that and be like, oh, we should try to replicate that, because like that's what like the cool girls are doing. This sounds so middle school, but I swear it happens, and I don't think it should be like that. But my opinions really changed, I guess, sophomore summer. So I was really honored to be elected as VPS, or Vice President of Standards. My house has one president and 3 vice presidents. One that's more organizational, one that focuses on academics, and the last one, which is my job, focuses on national standards and also just house standards. Like, what is the culture we want to create in the house, and dealing with anything that might be like a confidential conflict or something like that. Like, that was my job, to just make sure that like the house is at peace. And I really took it upon myself that summer to work in that and really create a culture within the house that was healthy. And I loved that I was able to work with our president over the summer and have events for the sorority that we were completely sober, no like alcohol or anything involved, which was unusual for Greek life at Dartmouth, I know. But people just got to really open up and like share their hearts and share their stories and get to know each other on a deeper level, in a way that we felt like there was a reason to be in the house. You weren't just there to like go to fun parties or to have people to take photos with or whatever. It was really just like, no, this is a place where you can be safe and be candid and talk about your experiences and talk about things that matter to you, and people will listen and people will honor that. And it was so amazing to just see that. I was so happy to feel like my rush class, the class of 2019 at Dartmouth, just really got to bond in a way that I had never seen before. And it was largely because it was only our class on campus. There were no influences of upperclassmen, no one to try to impress or anything, and people just got really real. I just had so much of a more profound respect for all the girls in my house and such a love for them because I feel like I got to know them and I feel like they knew me and I knew my intention and they knew why I wanted that position on the executive board for the summer. And that was really awesome. And it really showed me like, this is why I rushed a sorority and this is what it could look like if we all offer like ourselves as support systems for one another to other girls. There are also things such as issues of race, socioeconomic class, and stuff like that that I felt like were really important because the Greek system is an exclusive system and I really wanted people to understand like the implications of a Greek affiliation within the greater Dartmouth context, and we were able to have conversations about that. Obviously these are ongoing conversations all the time, but I was so glad to have that outlet just as our class, so it was a more intimate setting. But anyways, to move on into where I am at now, I am on a gap year, very separate from all the Greek life and very thankful for that because I think that there's a certain toxicity to Greek life and the way that it works of like the new coming rush classes trying to impress all these girls to get them to want them in their houses, and I was just so glad that I didn't have to deal with that BS this year of girls kissing up to me for me to like judge them because I hate having to judge people. If I had it my way, anyone who wanted to be in a house would get into the house that they got along with, you know? But I don't have my way. That's not how it works. So I think it was really cleansing for me to be in a position here where I don't have to be involved in that process. But I think the most important thing that I've realized being gone away from Greek life for a little bit is just knowing that none of it matters and the way that people treat you based off of your affiliation ultimately doesn't matter. What really matters is the depth of the relationships that you build with the people in your house or because of your house or outside of your house, and the perspectives that you gain from being in the house that you're in and from having relationships with so many different types of people. Because being in Greek life has really taught me a lot about grace and patience and being compassionate with people that I don't identify with, not getting offended when I feel like people don't want to get to know me as much as I want to get to know them. And I think these are all just good life skills that you could learn in or outside of being in a Greek house, obviously, but that's just stuff that I really learned being affiliated. What I look forward to most is not going back to school to be in my sorority, but just to go back and to be with my friends and see so many beautiful shining faces that I could just hug and squeeze and just catch up with and feel at home with, honestly, because that's really what it was established after sophomore summer for me, was feeling like I had a place where I could go to where people just appreciated me and I really appreciated them. So with all of that though, let's go into the 7 points that I think are really important to understand in making decisions about Greek life or rushing, particularly at Dartmouth, but also just in general. Okay, snippet number 1 is that Greek life is polarizing by nature. There's literally no way to be non-exclusive, unfortunately, due to what it means to be in a sorority. There's a rush process, like you're choosing each other. That's just how it is. And I think people shouldn't pretend like that's not the case, because even though it's not necessarily a good thing, I think there is a lot to be gained out of being able to pull in people of different thought processes and different backgrounds and different, ethnicities into one social space. I think it is unfortunate that it's exclusive, but I think the one upside is that a smaller community means that you will actually get to know the people that you're with. But I think it's really important to understand, like, there's no way to be non-exclusive and be in a Greek house. And if that's something that like you really want to stand for, I think it's important to consider what it means for you to be affiliated, and that's something that I've had to grapple with a lot. Tidbit number 2 is that every Greek house has problems. Upon rushing, people were really like taken aback. They're like, Kappa's not what I expected it to be, like blah, 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 racists and stuff like that. I think a lot of that exists not just in my sorority but throughout Dartmouth. Then in addition to that, these social issues of being like, the politics of running for an executive position or whatever, or exclusivity. I talked to so many friends in all these other sororities and they all were dealing with the same problems. So upon rushing, realize that that's probably not escapable, and if that's something that bothers you, which it should, you should take the initiative to try to change those problems and see what you can do to fix them. Truth number 3 is that relationships always take work. Just because you're in the sorority, you're paying dues, and you're like have the same letters that you can plaster on whatever apparel you buy, doesn't mean that you automatically have like 100 new friends. It will take an equal amount of work to become friends with these girls as it does with anyone else, because it takes time and commitment and care and empathy to build a solid relationship. The revelation number 4 is that affiliations will always impact how other people see you. Whether you want it to or not, or whether they want it to or not, it'll happen. The key is to really understand, what am I going to do with the fact that I have these affiliations now? You could get really offended and disassociate from anyone who disapproves of your association. You could just soak up all the social perks of a newfound association. Or you could say, okay, this is what I see that's associated with my Greek house. Is that what I want? Is that true? And what direction do you want to steer that? Because essentially you become a representative of your Greek house. As weird as that sounds, it's true, because people are watching you and they see what you do, how you treat people, and the Greek letters you wear. And you could fall into stereotypes that are negative, you could fall into stereotypes that are positive, or you could dispel stereotypes that are positive and negative. So really, what are you going to do with the fact that you have this community of people that share an association with you? The truth number 5 is that you actually don't have to drink or be super ragey to be affiliated. There are a lot of people who are affiliated that just don't drink at all. There's a lot of people that don't like to go out. Sororities are supposed to be a community of self-identifying women who just want to build meaningful relationships. And you should not have to drink in order to do that. And if people ever try to tell you otherwise, don't listen to them. People may try to tell you otherwise, I'm not gonna lie. Once you get comfortable enough with yourself to be able to be in social situations but not drinking or whatever, that is when you'll finally be able to be like, you know what, people here care about me for me. They don't care about how many shots I can take, you know? Like, it's really okay. And it might make you different, but who says that that's a bad thing? My revelation number 6 is that people are a lot deeper than you initially might give them credit for. For example, upon rushing, and when people weren't always the friendliest, they didn't say hi or respond to me or whatever, I realized it wasn't because they didn't necessarily care. A lot of the times it was because all the girls were equally as nervous or whatever to reach out and be friendly. So my tip for that is to not be afraid to be the one that says hi first, because oh my gosh, if you're affiliated in the same house as someone, you should really be able to say hello, especially at Dartmouth, which is a freaking small school. And understand that, like, okay, we're all in this environment, people have their own insecurities, and I shouldn't let their insecurity rub off on me in a way that's gonna make me insecure. I should be able to say, like, you know what, hey, like, that's okay, and we're just gonna let it slide. And I'm sure that they have a lot that they would like to get to know about me, and there's a lot I would like to get to know about them. And honestly, I found that that was true, where there was a lot of depth to the people in my house. During sophomore summer, I feel like I learned so much about people and just allowed me to create a lot more empathy for them and really understand that, like, everyone has struggles. Okay, this low-key makes me think of that, like, hot girl song.
Hot girls, we have problems too. We're just like you, except we're hot.
Which is so bad, but like, honestly, it's true though. Okay, so like, really hot, scary girls that were in my house or in other houses, like, realize that they're just people and that they have things that they're trying to deal with and all of that, and it makes them a lot less scary when you remember they're going through the exact same thing as me. And obviously that song is like a parody, but like, seriously, humanize each other, please, for once, and understand like the inner workings of people's deepest, darkest secrets all exist. And my last tidbit of truth is that Greek life, and whatever affiliation, whatever club or social group you are in ever, you will get as much as you put into it. And I think that really rang true when I ran for VPS for sophomore summer, that I realized, yeah, like, I really see fruit from these relationships that I'm building with these other girls, because I'm willing to put time and effort and thought into creating events for them and reaching out to people and just being present, because I wasn't able to do that well during my sophomore year usually. I really saw that I was able to establish connections and have influence in other people's lives and gain from other people's experiences as well when I just spent time with it and was patient with it. So it's a process. I just knocked over my camera, but we're back now. Trust the process. Like, I think if it is something that you want to invest in, which it doesn't have to be, but if it is something that you think is valuable, that you want to gain from, it's gonna take some work. And that's just kind of how it goes. But anyways, this video is probably super long, and I don't know how long I'll be able to slice it down in editing, but I hope you guys enjoyed and found this useful or informational. If you have any questions on anything I'm saying, please leave it in a comment down below. Either I'll answer in the comments, or I'll try to do a larger Greek life Q&A if that would be helpful to you guys. But yeah, I just really wanted to share just what I've learned so far being in this very interesting, place of life of Greek affiliation, particularly at Dartmouth as a female. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give this a thumbs up if you liked it. And again, subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this, as well as many other things. And follow my social medias, linked down below and just placed right here for any more updates from me. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my heart and what I have to say. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.